Hey everyone, and welcome to YouTube Wednesday on Never Quit, a third video in 4 days. However, after this, I think I'm going to be on an actual schedule where we're going to be probably uploading on every Wednesday. So these YouTube Wednesday things, get used to them, because I think a midweek upload is going to be good, and then we're going to be having probably one weekend upload. So I think twice a week is going to probably be the standard moving forward for a while on this channel. Like COVID-19 here, we have a lot of time, but there's also not new sports stuff to talk about, and so I think when we get into actually having sports, there'll be more great stuff to talk about, current stuff, but I'll also keep it at twice a week because I'll have less free time. But anyway, today we're gonna be talking about a fun video. NBA courts, the designs. We're gonna be basing these strictly off the looks. These are gonna be the first of series kind of designing stuff for me. We're going to be talking about jerseys. We're going to be talking about floor rankings today. We might be talking about hats, stuff like that. But yeah, first video today, we're going to be grading them, not ranking them in an order. Because what I found in my previous, on my other channel, sports jersey rankings for both baseball and basketball, I have trouble and coming up with the actual order, and I stress over what order to put them in, because the general feeling is I like most of these. So if I think it's pretty nice looking but nothing special, you're probably gonna be in the C tier here, because that's what I did. S is gonna be the elite tier, and then you have A, B, C, D, and F. Alright, so 6 different tiers we're gonna be placing these courts into. Every team's main court, and then we will be covering City Edition courts for the teams that go with that, and Classic Edition, even a couple may have Statement Edition courts. So let's get started. Up first, NBA champion Toronto Raptors. They get a C for their court at the Scotiabank Arena. It's very plain. I do like how the inside the three-point line, it's a bit of a different shade, and everything's very basic though. At the Air Canada Centre, when it was called, someone get in the comments right now, tell me, is the Air Canada Centre, was that an old arena, or did they just change the name to Scotiabank? I think they just changed the name to Scotiabank. But anyway, when it was the Air Canada Centre, they had these nice things that made it more exciting. On the sidelines, these black popping up things. Overall, it's meh. Their City Edition court, they use this for Christmas Day when they wear that great City Edition jersey, black and gold, just like my channel. This is my sweet spot right here. It gets an A. Man, it just misses out on the S tier, but this is an A court. I love everything about it. It's a bit dark to be in S maybe, but man, this is amazing colors. Terrific. And I forgot, we're actually not done with Toronto. They have one more court. It's their Classic Edition court, and it gets a letter C for me because it's actually good for Classic, the purple, because at least it's a bit good for Classic. And they wear white jerseys. It's the dinosaur stuff. It's all cool and all. You'll see, I really don't like Classic Edition stuff. I'm way more of a modern sports fan. Alright, the next one's interesting. It's the LA Clippers. I'm going to give it a B, actually. I think throughout the season, I've actually liked this court more and more. Their all black court that they rolled out this year. On the sides, around it, the borders, it's actually really cool because it has designs that has to do with those LA Our stuff. I hated it at first because I still wish they would use just black, red, blue like they used to last year and stuff and before, because those are some sweet colors. And I was like, oh, a game at this place. But no, it's actually rather sharp to me. And they actually have one more court. It's their City Edition court. Gets a C, a grade down, because it has that stuff, that weird stuff, that Los Angeles in that terrible font, the newsletter font, that I can't really stand that. To be completely honest, I hate those City Edition jerseys, and it just gives me bad vibes when I see that on the court now. It's kind of been an almost personal inside joke how much I can't stand when the Clippers roll out those newspaper Los Angeles Times jerseys. The Hornets have themselves an interesting court. I'm gonna give it a B because it's a bit much, but I do like it's cool. It's cool and it's a bit much, but I'm a huge fan of the Hornets colors too. So overall, solid job, interesting. You don't need to be all like really nice and original because you're the Charlotte freaking Hornets, okay? Yeah, it's pretty cool. Up next is the Indiana Pacers. Now, I love watching a game at the Pacer Stadium itself, Bankers Life Fieldhouse. I think it's a real nice environment itself. But again, this is court, and I'm going to give it a C because it's a bit bland. And, I like it, but, it's really bland to the point that there's no more to say. Alright, up next is the Orlando Magic and their weirdness at the Amway Center down in Florida. I'm going to give this one a C, their original court here. I originally had it in the D, but, I looked at it, and it's actually interesting, and I like interesting. Those little, it's just all weird on the court. I don't know what to call it, squarish things, and they have pinstripe jerseys. Everything's quite weird with the Magic. I'm gonna drop that into the C tier. And their City Edition, the orange, I'm giving it a D. And orange is my favorite color. But guess what? They used the wrong shade of orange. I agree with this one guy that was saying that they used the wrong shade of orange. I'm all about orange, but it has to be like a darkish, brightish orange, not this almost yellowy orange. And already I don't really love the weirdness about it. And oh man, the Magic had arguably my least favorite City Edition besides the Clippers. The Miami Heat's core court is one of my favorite main courts in all of basketball. They get an A. The colors are just so terrific, and I love what they do with the free throw line there. It's terrific for your main court. For their City Edition court, I'm actually going to give it a B. Now, hear me out. I'm getting a bit sick of their Vice stuff. I know that it's an incredible color combination, and the font is actually pretty cool as well. But I'm getting sick of it, and I like it every once in a while, but I think they overdo it, and I really prefer them use their yellow, black, red, that nice bold stuff. I'm getting a bit sick of the pinkish blue vibes. Even though it's nice, I do really hope they do not use those in playoff games, even though I fear that they will. But yeah, I'm going to give it a B, and it's good. Getting sick of it. Alright, Philadelphia, that's an interesting one. I'm going to give their main court a C. The 76 thing, it is what it is. It's quite average, honestly. But then when they go with their City Edition, I actually am going to give this one an A, almost an S, but an A for their City court. I love the white bell logo. That's all there is to say. I remember Nets winning Game 1 of the playoffs last year there. Oh, what great vibes, man. It's really nice when they roll out that. Dallas Mavericks, their main court is going to go into the C tier. It's quite boring, but yeah, quite average. It just is. Not too much to say about this court. I do like how it gets darker blue around the edges so that it's not all lighter blue, because the Mavericks are the one team that's blue and dark blue. But speaking of colors, that's not their only colors, because their City Edition court offers up a lot of green, and I'm going to drop their City Edition court in the B tier. Why? Because now the font, which you do see on the sides of the court, is atrocious, which their City Edition jersey is quite rough because of it. However, the green and blue mixed together for the Mavericks logo in the middle, and free throw lines and stuff, brilliant. The color, it's really cool. It honestly is, even though it is quite bizarre, their City Edition stuff. San Antonio's main court, quite original, right? Well, the thing is, I actually like it. I'm gonna give it a B, even though it's all black. This court, I just feel I just like it. The Utah Jazz are low-key one of my favorite places to watch a game at. Well, high-key inside. But people won't know that because I'm from the East Coast, and who cares about the Jazz Nuggets, right? No, wrong, because I do. But the Utah Jazz get an A for their main court. It's I'll tell you what, it's always late at night in complete darkness when I watch Jazz games. So it is a bit bright on my TV for that court, but guess what? I love it. Taking away that bad musical note and just having the ball part of it, man, it's really cool. That deserves A tier. But then their City Edition court deserves S tier because the yellow and the orange. Watching, especially when they fire up the crowd in the playoffs, like, oh my god, in those colors, this is just my favorite court in all of basketball is quite possibly the Utah Jazz City court. Now they have a Classic Edition court, and it deserves to be in the F tier. So right from S to F, because the Utah Jazz's Classic court is, oh man, I've tried getting good vibes about this. But you know what? If the Utah Jazz, I see that they're going to be wearing their City Edition stuff that night on ESPN, I'm all in. I'm like automatically watching the game. I see they're listed down to wear their Classic stuff. No, that's not part of my night then. I do not like, they have incredible, very modern stuff, but then they use that Classic. It is trash. The Phoenix Suns roll with one court, and it's a good court. It's a B tier court, you know, some darker wood, some lighter wood, some purple, some orange, good colors, just everything solid at the Stockings Resort Arena or whatever the heck it's called. The Blazers roll with one court, and it's probably the only one with white free throw line areas based on the fact that that's the only thing I notice of their court every time, so I'm sure it is the only white one. I'm going to give it A tier. The Blazers, I really enjoy watching a game, and the court is one of the main reasons for that. I just really like it. I think the white is quite interesting. Rip City, baby. That's all I have to say there. The Detroit Pistons roll with one court, and it deserves the C tier. You know, it's very good colors, but everything else, for some reason, I just don't like it. Maybe it's the font, maybe it's the boringness to it, but, like, I just don't like it. But the colors make me actually do like it, and it's a C tier, decent court as a whole. The Houston Rockets low-key have one of the most boring and bad courts in the NBA. It's in the D tier. There's just not much to it. It's all red, and I actually enjoy watching games at this place, so it doesn't affect my watchingness at it. But the court itself, a lot of just tan and red. The Golden State Warriors have 3 courts, and there's a lot of yellow when you watch Warriors games, and most of that is because of the court. They don't go with blue, they go with gold on the court, and I really like that. This is their main court with the main logo, A tier. That's actually going to be my favorite one of their 3. But then they have their City Edition one with the town. It's still A tier, a bit worse, but you know, it's become a bit like a classic thing that I started liking last year with the Warriors. You know, the Oakland tree thing, City Edition this year. And then they have that classic one, which is still going to be an A. I don't quite like it as much as the other 2. Because it says San Francisco. It's with those white San Francisco jerseys. Yeah, just they're all very good. I enjoy the brightness of Golden State's courts. The Boston Celtics roll with one court, and it's one of the most iconic courts in the NBA. It's the TD Garden's squared up courts, and I'm gonna give it an A tier because I truly enjoy. I had to think about it a bit, but then in the end, I truly enjoy watching games in Boston, and I think that it's obviously one of the most interesting courts, and I do think that's part of the reason I enjoy watching Celtics games. The green, along with that dark and interesting court, it does it for me. The Brooklyn Nets roll with 2 courts, and this first one you see here, their main court, I can actually just have to pull up a different picture of it, as you could tell, because it's not actually like that, that first one, the one that was a normal color. It's way more like grayish and weird. Like, I was baffled when I watched the Nets opening night game, and I saw that it was actually weird like that, because it's kind of gray, and that's for their main court, and that one deserves a D tier, because I truly it's just not a good vibe. The Nets are my favorite team, if you guys weren't aware. However, not a good court, and it's kind of has taken off some of how much I've enjoyed watching home Nets games a bit this year, perhaps. Next year that won't be an issue because we have KD. Doesn't matter what court we have. But now, their City Edition court is going to get dropped right into the B tier. because it darkens the gray and it adds like the crown stuff and it adds those color stuff on the outside of the B. In the middle and on the sides you get all that nice color stuff and the king stuff, and just darkening the gray that does it for me. The darkened gray, just like that, like it's a bit gray, like I don't like it, but it's all gray. Okay, we have the niche of our court down, and I really do actually like it. That is us, Brooklyn. The Memphis Grizzlies roll with one court, and my is it horrible. It deserves an F tier. It is like, it has nothing around it. No much more to say. It's very weird. I don't even want to say I can't watch games there, because I actually don't mind watching games there. But what is this? The Denver Nuggets roll with three courts, but it's quite interesting because they don't actually have painted paints, which I tend to not like. So that's why their main court gets a C. I just like get a great vibe when I'm watching Nuggets games at that place, especially on Friday nights. But that's not quite what we're doing. So the court itself, C. Just logo. I like their logo, but everything else pretty plain and no paint. And then their statement edition court, actually, the Mile High City. This is the one they actually do wear on Friday night, and I like everything about that, so I'm going to drop this in the B tier. Same for their City Edition court, which they wore on Christmas night. The B tier. It's very good. I like that little hef thing, whatever you call it. I don't know. Is that a nugget? Tell me. Sacramento Kings have two courts. Their main court, the all purple, with just like everything that is painted is purple. It's quite bad. It deserves D tier. You guys could kind of get the feel with what I like and what I don't like. I like when there's multiple colors on the court, and this court does not do it for me, especially when I don't really like their logo or their font. It's just quite lousy. Their City Edition court, however, deserves a B with the blue and the red. The jersey is more so red, but the court is more so light blue, and it is actually good. I actually like the Kings City Edition stuff, low-key, despite it changing their colors entirely. The Lakers have one court, and everybody knows what it looks like, and it deserves S tier. The purple and the gold, and having those L things, the L logo on, the two spots that they do, and the stars around their main logo in the center. It just gets the job done for me. This is like, perfection in a court. The Milwaukee Bucks have two courts. Their main court, it deserves a D tier because it's quite boring. I don't view it as weird as I used to view. I used to view it as this weird thing. It's really not. Maybe I just thought of their old court, their other court as that. But this one is not that weird. However, it is boring. And then their City Edition court moves up to C tier because of the weirdness inside the three-point line with the buck thing and some more black here. This is with their black Statement Edition jersey. I don't know if I said City, but it's their Statement court. And but the bad part about this is you take away the deer head and put that, whatever it's called, what does it say? Something like Milwaukee basketball, and it has that bad M in the middle. It is not good in the middle. But overall, I actually do prefer their weird black jersey court. The Atlanta Hawks have two courts, and I tend to like them both. Now, their main court, it's a bit much for me, but it deserves B tier because, what am I trying to say? I really like the colors. As a whole, despite it being weird, I do like the colors that it offers up. And then their other court, their City Edition court, is A tier because the gold is really nice. Now, I don't like their city jerseys, the Peachtree stuff, but just looking at it as a court, it is like really close to perfection. The Knicks used to have my favorite court in all of basketball, and the thing is, they actually downgraded quite significantly, but they're still S tier. The blue, under those bright lights of the MSG, and saying New York Knicks in orange, it gets the job done for me with that amazing orange logo in the center. Now, I liked it more when they had orange rather than blue as the free throw lines, because as you guys could tell, I like when it has two colors rather than just one out of the paint, but still brilliancy. Cleveland Cavaliers have 3 courts, and I like most of them. Their main court for this year honors their 50-year anniversary, and I give it an S tier because the gold and the dark red, it is just absolutely wonderful. When I looked at this, I was actually pretty baffled. It is incredible. Now their City Edition court, I'm going to be dropping in the A tier. Their City Edition court, it's good. Um, um, it almost feels like a holiday with that nice Clee in gold and actually bringing navy back to the Cavs. It's wonderful. And then I give a D to their Classic Edition. I don't like Classic Edition very much, and the Cavs fits right into that mix. 3 more teams. The Minnesota Timberwolves have a B tier court. Despite it being all navy, I just really like what they bring to the table here. Pretty dark navy with a pretty good logo, even though it's like all circular, and quite light flooring. It's very good. Not a ton to say, basic, but I like games in Minnesota. The Chicago Bulls have a C tier court. There's not much going on. It's the same every year. They have a good logo. However, like, the Bulls just aren't really my vibe, but I do like how they have the stars near the bottom sideline. And I didn't even know they had that until I looked at this. So it could have been a D, but it's a C. Maybe it still would have been C. It's quite iconic, and it's just the Bulls. It's okay. Alright, on to the last and final team, the Washington Wizards. They have a B tier court. I like the colors. It's pretty simple. Nation's capital, you gotta have your red and your navy, and that speaks for the court too, not just your jerseys and your logo, and they do it right, and it's pretty good. Similar to all my videos, this video ran quite long. Subscribe if you want to come back for more. The next time, probably going to be shorter. Well, actually, we'll dive into my National League standings predictions on Saturday. That's the plan, at least. Again, follow my Instagram at NeverQuitNate. I'll leave the link in the description below. You guys, if you want to stay like closer up to date on everything going on with this channel, that is where to find it. I stay consistent on the gram. And leave a like on this video if you did enjoy me ranking every team's courts. And we'll see you next time.